Hey, what's up guys? Ghost Bear Games here. Hope you all are doing well and having an awesome day today. Today we're going to be covering one of the most rare, beautiful, sought-after cards in all of MetaZoo, the Chaos Crystal. Ever since the launch of MetaZoo in March of 2021, the Chaos Crystal has been at the forefront as one of the most discussed and coveted cards in the entire game. This was one of the few cards that actually started out on the pricier end, even before the game was blessed with the attention of a certain Taco King social media celebrity. This isn't only because of its stunning artwork and high rarity, but also because of its strength comparison and obvious reference to one of the most powerful and well-known cards of all time in the world of TCGs, the Black Lotus from Magic the Gathering. Even outside of the TCG universe, the Black Lotus has made a name for itself because of the commanding price tag it sold for in January of 2021. But why is the Black Lotus so iconic and heralded as one of the most powerful cards in all of Magic? And is its strength really comparable to the Chaos Crystal? Starting with the basics, the Black Lotus is one of the original cards from Magic's initial release in 1993. It quickly gained popularity due to the fact that it allowed players to begin their first turn with 3 mana of one type. Just an FYI, mana is the gas players use to summon their creatures and also cast spells in the game. Now, that's 3 times the amount of mana players typically start out with in their first turn of Magic. 4 times the amount if the player is also able to play their land card for turn. Coupled with the fact that in the early days of Magic, players were able to have 4 of these in their decks, you can definitely bet that some turn 1 shenanigans wreaked havoc over the battlefield. Now, by comparison, the Chaos Crystal also allows players to generate gas in the form of 3 aura. However, unlike the Black Lotus, it can generate 3 aura of any type in any combination. Need 2 flame aura and 1 cosmic? Done. How about 1 water aura, 1 spirit, and 1 forest? No problemo. Another unique factor of the Chaos Crystal is that unlike the Black Lotus, which enters the battlefield revved up and ready to go, the Chaos Crystal enters the arena fatigued, meaning no turn 1 shenanigans because you'll have to wait until your next turn to be able to activate it. And that's only if you're lucky enough to have your Chaos Crystal survive until turn 2, because placing one of those in the battlefield is essentially dropping a bright red target in the arena with a kick me sign wrapped in Christmas lights on top for good measure. And with only 25 life points to sustain it, there's a pretty good chance that it won't make it to turn 2 depending on whether your opponent sees it as a threat. After all, let's take a look at the list of turn 1 spells and beasties that could one-hit KO that CC right to limbo. Fireball, Squonk, Lava Bear, Snow Snake, Thorned Whip, Sewer Alligator, Moon-Eyed People, and now a list of turn 2 beasties and spells: Lizard Man, Bunny Man, a very well-timed Icy Path, Balancing Beam, Chupacabra, Cactus Cat, White Thing, Menehune, Fresno Nightcrawlers. I think you get where this list is going. And by the way, this is only Cryptid Nation. Nightfall is going to be bringing a whole bunch of new spells and artifacts with all kinds of tricks going on, and one of them in particular is a card called Absorb Aura, which is a 0-cost spell that lets you destroy an artifact that costs 0, which is, by the way, the Chaos Crystal, draw 1 card, and generate 1 aura of any type that that artifact would normally produce. And players are going to be able to have 4 of these in their decks, so if you think that that Chaos Crystal is going to be sticking around, you might have another thing coming. Now, granted, referring back to the list of turn 1 and turn 2 spells and beasties, your opponent is going to need either a Terra or a Lightning in a Bottle boost to get these guys up and going. But given that most casters run about like 5 Lightning in a Bottles deep and at least 3, maybe even 4 Terras, there's a good chance they're going to have one of them in their opening hand. And with players being allowed only 1 Chaos Crystal in their spellbook by comparison, once it's been blown up, you're not drawing another one in the late game. But don't worry, all is not lost. After all, if your opponent does take out your Chaos Crystal before you have a chance to get things going, there is a way you can save it if you don't want to try your luck with Crossroads. But just one, and I can guess that most people have kind of been overlooking this little guy while other beasties like Mothman and Quetzalcoatlus have been tearing up the spotlight. Wait for it. Wait for it. Yep, that's right. Our favorite big banana toting, giant fish swinging Menehune. I have scoured over every single card in MetaZoo Cryptid Nation set, including the theme decks and release decks, and he is the only beastie, and technically page overall, since I couldn't find any spells either, that can bring your Chaos Crystal back from the dead. In fact, he's the only beastie or page that can bring back any artifact. All you have to do is pay the 2 light aura to contract him, and then once he's awakened, fatigue him to use his ability, and bam! Zombie Chaos Crystal back in action. Now, there are cards that can help recover your crystal's life points like Chupacabra and Health Potion, but with Health Potion, you'll have to use it on your turn and before your crystal has taken full damage, otherwise, you're SOL. We also have Hug and Molly, who can reduce all damage directed at any page to 0. However, she can only prevent damage from spells, and 9 times out of 10, your poor Chaos Crystal will probably be staring down the face of an attacking beastie, since there are more turn 1 beasties that can deal enough damage with just a Terra boost and a Lightning in a Bottle compared to spells. Coming in Nightfall, we also have the 0 aura cost spell, Smoky Spirits, which lets you end combat even if it's not your turn, and prevents your Chaos Crystal from being the target of attacks until the end of that turn. Now, what makes this little guy even more special is that, you know how I said earlier that the Chaos Crystal enters the battlefield fatigued when cast normally? Well, when using Menahune's ability, it enters the arena awakened, which gives you the perfect opportunity for you to make your move. Now, as much as I have been singing the praises of Menahune, ironically he does suffer from the same weaknesses of the Chaos Crystal, and that he only has 20 life points and he enters the battlefield fatigued. However, unlike the Chaos Crystal, which has no way to awaken it when contracted, Menahune has our good friend Lightning in a Bottle to bypass that minor setback. Now, with all that being said, everyone, go get your non-foil Menahunes out of the bulk piles and give them the penny-sleeved respect they so rightfully deserve. So now that we've covered the basics and best friend of the Chaos Crystal, you're probably wondering, okay, with everything it has going against it, is there even any point to include it in your deck? And if so, what decks could possibly be running it? After all, as of October, before the release of Nightfall, we all know no one out there is running an all-light type deck, with only Sam Sinclair and Menahune to hold down the fort. At this stage, it seems like a lot of players feel that Chaos Crystals belong in every deck, regardless if you're playing 1 type in your spellbook or 5. However, based on my own matches and from viewing other players, I have to disagree. If you're running a deck with multiple types, yes, definitely, do not leave home without it. However, if you're playing with only 1 type of beastie and spell or potion in your spellbook, it doesn't really feel necessary when you have Aurifacts like Lightning Glass and Eternal Snowflake, which have double the Chaos Crystal's life points while also generating 2 aura of 1 type. Now granted, you could argue that since you can only have 2 of each single type Aurifact in your deck, you might as well just include the Chaos Crystal to give yourself a third option that can also give an extra boost. And who knows, maybe being able to generate that 1 extra aura could be a game changer in some matches. But for the most part, I just feel that as MetaZoo players become stronger and more competitive, those Chaos Crystals are going to be the first sparkly pimple your opponent pops the moment they hit the battlefield, and at least the single-type Aurifacts will force your opponent to really work to take them out. Well, unless they're going up against Absorb Aura, in which case, just hide them and maybe your opponent won't notice them. Just kidding, don't do that. Pretty sure that's illegal. Well, that basically concludes my analysis. What did you guys think? Did you agree? Disagree? Drop a comment below and let me know. And if you're interested in seeing a written version of this video, I have an article that I wrote on my blog, which I'll also post a link to in the description as well. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, drop a comment or hit me up on Instagram, which will also be in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you stuck all the way to the end. And I will see you all in my next video where I'm going to talk about the top 10 spells coming in Nightfall that I think you should keep an eye out for if you're going to be on the battlefield. See you in the next one.